What is up, everybody? Joel Norden here, and welcome back to another episode of A Sound Discovery. And today we're discovering new core. So this is, in the past 10 years, the genre I've listened to the most. A lot of metalcore and post-hardcore. That's honestly my typical listening. But with this playlist, I've gone and done a crossover a little bit with a buddy of mine, best friend 15. It might be the best friends 15. Let's see here. Yeah, the best friends 15. So me and him work together on this because he listens to heavier stuff than I do, like more in the deathcore genre. So it kind of works out. We each have a little bit of a different side of core that we like. So we've worked together to put together a playlist of all new core that's come out, and just like my other playlists, I'll make sure nothing over a year old is in it. So the first thing we got here is after the Burial dropped a new 2 songs on the 30th of March. Nothing Gold and Death Keeps Us From Living. And I have really, really enjoyed these 2 songs. I have not hearted them yet, as you can see, but I have been listening to them quite a bit. I only really know one other song by After the Burial, and that is Lost in the Static. So I'm not super familiar with them, but I've definitely listened to them from time to time, and really liking these 2 songs. So I think these are going to make a playlist, but I'll play a little bit from here. Nothing Gold here. Jump right to the... Just has a nice little groove to it. Really like that. And again, if you aren't sure what metalcore is, that is kind of right there what it's going to sound like. So if you're not into the heavy stuff, this is not going to be the playlist for you. But don't worry, we have some other playlists. Like I said, I'm working on a punk one, pop punk, and a ska one. So Death Keeps Us From Living. The instrumentals are phenomenal. I really like that instrumental on that one a lot. Yeah, like I said, those 2 I think are definitely going to make it into one of my actual playlists. Amni Affliction, they dropped I think they have 3 songs out, and March 22nd for their last single released out of those 3. And I've really been enjoying this as well. It is heavy, and I like it. I like it. And this is the one that's not heavy. Right after it. Yes. And so with Amni Affliction, I feel like they really have a sound. So it's one of those bands that you could kind of get sick of after a little bit because they all kind of have a similar vibe. But with this album so far, it feels very, these 3 songs feel very intricate intricate instrumentally. There's a lot of change ups throughout, which keep everything fresh. Some really heavy parts, some really nice clean vocals, while still keeping the vibe or kind of theme that they have for their sound. So it's really nice so far. Really, really been digging this. Show me your God. Show me your God. And I see dead people.
I hear their voices in my head. I feel their sorrow in my chest. I see them push in a fucking head. I see the ghosts of my friends. I see the ghosts of my friends.
I love this band. I'm so excited for this album. Stoked for it. Arch Enemy. Now, these guys are not technically a core band. Let me pull up Genre Finder here. Artist name. Arch Enemy. So I use Get Genre for all the genre stuff. Yeah, they're technically melodic death metal. So I'm definitely going to be slimming down on them. However, in their sub-genres, they have... Oh, no, they don't. Well, I'll be damned. Okay, so I'm actually going to remove these three here because I thought there was a core aspect in one of them, but there is not. So I'll be removing those. And then archetypes. Oh my God, archetypes. Archetypes Collide dropped a new album, and I threw a couple songs from that in there, and those are probably going to be. I'm going to find my favorite three off this album, and then eventually kind of replace these three. But this is much softer. Just has a nice, really nice flow. The album and whole kind of, while I feel like it could be, some of the spots could be a little generic sounding for the genre, they do a really great job on this album keeping things fresh. So it keeps it away from that being just like a generic, post-hardcore, metalcore album. Fade Away. I just added this one 3 days ago.
Sled along by the street lights. Bloodshot eyes feel the cold running down my spine. Seconds and minutes fly, no turning back the time. Blurring my days and nights. My life is ticking by.
Has a nice little flow. My own device here. Another nice flow. Kind of reminds me of the old, We Came as Romans type style. I kind of miss it, not going to lie. Attack came out with a new one the 10th of February. And Ben added that. Let's check out a little bit. I've actually not heard this one. It's not too bad. I've never been a giant Attack fan, but I've always liked a few songs here and there by them. And obviously, I'm not going to know a lot of the songs that he's added because, like I said, while listen to kind of core, we listen to different aspects of core. So it kind of is cool. But I do listen to this playlist, and I like the mix that we have here. So the ones I do know or I've heard, I will play a little bit from. But being that we're two different people adding stuff to the list, we're at Attack here. We have 107 songs. So definitely we'll be playing little bits of each one. So just to kind of keep you aware. Attila, I've not heard the new Attila. When did this come out? 24th? Nice little Attila flow there. I'm not a huge Attila fan, but I do love them live. I will give them that. Let's see here. August Burns Red. They dropped their album on March 24th. Pretty stoked about that. People really seem to be liking it a lot. Let's see here. Cleansing. I really liked this song a lot. I'm just trying to find my favorite spot of it. There's the end here. Couldn't remember where the gnarly ass breakdown is in the song. It's kind of a long song, but it's definitely good. What else was on this album? Ancestry with Jesse Leach from Killswitch Engage. And this is just good old school metalcore. And August Burns Red, if you get a chance to see them live, it's definitely something you're going to want to check out. They are phenomenal. They're very intense live. So we have Bad Blood, which is Scott Vogel of Terror and Buried Alive. Isn't he part of Kublai Khan too? I believe. I could be wrong on that. But this is more in the hardcore realm. Like I said, that's a little bit more of that like New York hardcore scene. So that's definitely a little bit different comparatively to the rest of the album. There's not a lot of hardcore in this album just because it's not something I listen to a whole lot of. But here and there I pick up some stuff. And that came out April 5th this year. So it just dropped. Bayside dropped one that was actually pretty heavy, which I haven't listened to a whole lot of Bayside, so they might have some heavier tracks. But a lot of the stuff I heard was a little more alternative. and this dropped on February with Ice 9 Kills.
Don't be alarmed, just pay attention, 'cause I can explain this little point of contention. Okay, maybe I can, but I'm gonna try to. I pay by the word, so here's the check that I write you. Just see, I never pass go, I don't correct nothing. Can't get ahead, always looking for something more.
Good stuff, good stuff. Ben added a new Amir song, Bleeding Through. Now, this one's a little bit older. This is July of last year, so it's still within that year range, but we'll play a little clip of that. Freaking love Bleeding Through, and actually was one of the first heavy bands I really got into. What was that song called? Oh my gosh, what album was that on? I want to say The Truth. Kill to Believe. Do you remember on the night I couldn't find the words to say I'm sorry? Good shit. Bloodlines, they dropped Psalms of the Depths, October of last year, still within that year range.
Like through the waters of the unknown, all rules of logic and knowledge have gone overboard. My vision's blurred and my feet are solid stone. And as I sing, you hold my hand in your own.
Love it. Body Snatcher. This was a pretty solid album, and this came out April 22nd, so this only has a few more days left in the list, so not even going to bother checking that one out right now. Ben added a new Brand of Sacrifice song. Okay, I've listened to a little bit of them, but not much. Sounds pretty decent. A little bit of distortion there with the vocals on top of the screams. I'll have to listen to that one again. Now, I need to slim down on Bury Tomorrow, but I believe Paradise Denied drops out in June, so that'll help. But they just dropped a new album, The Seventh Son, March 31st, which is a rather solid album. It gets a little repetitive in areas. Just want a little bit more experimental, just something there, just a little dash of something. But for the most part, I mean, solid songs. So I gotta slim down, like I said, a little bit on these, but. Chuck would have enjoyed that. So, like I said, I'm not going to play through all these, but definitely worth a try. Guys, also do me a solid, and if you are at all curious about some of these new tunes, make sure you check out our Discover New Core playlist on Spotify. Give that a heart and check it out. Like I said, I'm not going to hit all these songs just because there's so many we added, but for the most part, I'm going to try to hit up a few of these for sure. Definitely worth checking out those Bury Tomorrow songs, though. Chelsea Grin dropped another album, Suffer in Heaven, March 17th. Orc March was pretty solid here. And just being, fantasy themed, that's gonna hook me immediately. Let's see here. Path to Suffering. Forever Bloom was off their previous album, Suffer in Hell, and this one came out in November of last year. But that's with Trevor, who passed away, who is lead singer of Black Dahlia Murder, which I don't really listen to them, but I really did enjoy this. Just had kind of a nice little flow to it. The lyrics weren't that's part of it. The lyrics, if it's just like mutilation stuff, typically you're not gonna get me interested at all. Or if it's like really just like over the top dark, I just don't get it. But if you can kind of give me some lyrical depth, which this kind of looks like. I mean, it's dark, but it's not like the craziest shit you ever heard. So I can get into that. Ben added Consumer is what I'm getting, with a V. And that came out in January this year. Stigmata by Convictions, that dropped October of last year. It has a nice flow to it. Just has a really good sing-along aspect there to the thing. Crown the Empire dropped 5 new songs. Only 4 of them are in this list. I need to slim down on that because I'm trying to keep the artists around that 3 songs max, and then you guys can check out the rest. Just more of an alert. Hey, this came out. Or you can get a feel for the band if you're trying to find something new. So I was rather impressed with the new Crown the Empire just because I am a hardcore fan of their first 3 albums, and after that kind of lost interest in them. There was a song or 2 off every album after that I enjoyed, but just not full albums. So far, though, this is shaping up to be a nice album. Nice balance of heavy and cleans. So really liking that. Currents, Ben added them. I love Currents, and I have not checked out any of this since November last year. Saw these guys live at Incarceration Fest 2021, I want to say it was. And they were phenomenal. Let's check out one of their things here. I really like the vocals here, but I'm not sure about the instrumental in the background. We'll see if that one grows on me at all or not. I'd still say it's above average, though. Neon Grave. Now, this is, I love Dayseeker, but they're definitely on the lighter side of core, as you're about to see here. My lonely earth. Good shit. That came out November of last year. We got new Dead by April. Ben added Dealer. 2 new songs by Dealer, looks like. Okay, that's an old one. Remove. And this one is January 2023. So there is a new Dealer song. New Devil Wears Prada, Reaching, and that just came out the 16th of March. I have actually not heard that myself yet, so I'm curious about that. Argent Justice by Distant, Suicide Silence, Amir, all kinds of bands in there. That one's pretty solid. We got Heritage by Distant, Will Ramos, Lorna Shore. Dying Wish, which is a band I really enjoy, Torn from Your Silhouette. So it sounds a little dark, but kind of reminds me of a little bit of Knocked Out with just like some rawer vocals, but really enjoying that as well. Earth Caller dropped a new EP, which I've really been enjoying them. April 5th of this year. Alone is one of my favorites off it, even though it is a little bit. Very solid EPs thus far. I don't know if that's going to be does it say EP? Oh yeah, it does say EP renormalization. Okay. So I don't know if that'll be a part of just kind of introducing a new sound and they're going to drop an album with those songs on it, or if that's an actual EP. It's kind of weird how some of the bands do singles on Spotify. They'll drop like 6 singles and then put them all together in EP and then drop the album like a couple months later. So it's just kind of a weird format thing that kind of happens on Spotify, I believe. Eden Will Drown, been added. The World Without Us by Enterprise Earth, and they are heavy. That's not that heavy at all. Shocking. I like the build up there. Well, the vocals are really low below the instrumental there, but it's clean vocals, which is really intriguing. So I'm going to be checking that out for sure. This came out in July last year, Pull from the Ghost era. Phenomenal live. Got to see them down in Columbus last year. Tore stuff up. You got another Devil Wears Prada Excision song here. This came out in April this year. Eyes Wide Open and Mystic You, which Mystic You is a part of Earth Caller. She does the background. I think that she does like keyboard and like the choir sounds and stuff in the background. But let's see here. Been added Face Yourself and Cognitive Shadow Self when that drop. That dropped the 20th of this year. So we got a lot of new stuff in here, guys. Fit for an Autopsy. I love Fit for an Autopsy. Hellions. It's part of a new EP. I wouldn't say this is my favorite song by them, but it's not bad in any regard. Speaking of regards, Foxblood, Kind Regards. This dropped October of last year, and this one's one I just recently found because of my buddy, and this has a phenomenal flow. There's part that was like really extremely relevant. I was like, oh, this hurts.
There's nothing to cure us because sickness sells. They poison the water as all the books burn and showed us new violence while our backs were turned. All weak men look for someone to blame.
It just has a really good flow lyrically right there. That's some rather punk lyrics. I dig that a lot. So that has a really good sound there. Graphic Nature dropped one February 17th. Ben added that one. Hero and the Monster and Convictions Wounds that just dropped recently, I believe, January 6th. Definitely worth checking out there. We got some Ikari and Nick Nocturnal Bitter Bliss. This dropped April 7th. Ingested, maybe actually Enterprise Earth. They were on tour with Enterprise Earth, I believe. And I think this might have been the band I'm thinking of that's heavy as hell. Yeah. Super duper heavy. Love it. Gangrene by Canine. That just came out in July of last year. So we do have some new ones coming up here that will get removed from the list. Kingdom of Giants dropped one March 3rd. That has a good sound to it.
I can feel it shifting. Everything is twisted. My ears have been ringing, and it's written on your face. There's no need to fake it, 'cause I've been feeling low. Nothing seems to.
That has a nice little flow to it. Cruelty, Maze of Suffering, and it's by Cruelty. March 17th, that dropped. That's one thing I really liked about this list. If you're not into extremely heavy stuff, there's some other side of core that kind of lightens this playlist up. And like for me, I'm not a giant fan of like extremely heavy stuff, whereas like Ben is. But with the mix that we've created here, it's a really nice mix. You know, there's a few songs that I'm like, you know, a little bit too much for me, but at the same time there's a lot of songs I was like, wow, I actually like this a little bit more than I expected, because it's not sounding all the same, because I'm listening to it directly one after the other, which kind of has a tendency for me with music. If I don't swap up my genre every once in a while, the songs just all kind of start sounding the same to me, which is disappointing. So the way we have this set up is really nice, especially if you're just trying to find some newer tunes. Left for Suffer dropped these two new songs in April. Like those a lot. We got a new Like Moths to Flame that dropped March 30th. We got two new Lorna Shores. Those are a little bit older now at this point, I think. October. Not as old as I thought. Let's see here. We got some LS Dunes, which is a technically emo supergroup, but I believe this song falls in post-hardcore. Let's see here. That one has a really good flow, and I've seen them live, actually. Phenomenal live. So much fun. I actually got to see their first show ever at Riot Fest, so that was extremely dope. I'm on Get Genre right now, just checking on Machine Head. I know they are traditionally metal. Yes. All right. So according to Get Genre, which I believe pulls genres from Spotify, that like tags the label uses or the band uses to sell stuff. Melodic metalcore is in one of their genre tags. So it's not necessarily that this is going to be metalcore, but these two songs were really good off their new album. And it has a metalcore tag. So I'm not going to play those, but you want to check them out. They're really good. Make Me Suffer, Doom Switch, That came out, let's see here. That dropped October 14th. Malevolence. And this is off the Aggression Sessions. This is the one with Hellions. It's like 3 bands working together. They have each of them did 2 songs. We have Thy Hour's Murder, Malevolence, and Fit for an Autopsy. I'm not a giant Malevolence fan, but this song's pretty good. Defiler. Oh, I guess those came out. I should have checked. That came out April 7th. Defiler came out February this year. Extracted from my head till there's nothing left. Brushing my head, bleeding till I'm dead. Some are feeling numb, but all I knew was pain. Feeling helpless, gotta go while you take your word. Break away from this name and word, I'm so depressive. I escape, but you're always so hyper-obsessive. Curse the word you said, I swear it's the air, break the ties. You can try to take a shot, but get the fun my life. Stay away, I don't need you anymore. I know now you're the reason that I broke. So real quick to take a break here. If you guys have any songs that are new in the last, let's say 4 months that are in the core area that you think should be in the list, please let me know in the comments down below. I can't guarantee you they're going to go on the list because these aren't just new songs for the most part. They're ones that on my side, at least, that I'm kind of curating. So songs I enjoy from newer bands, and then putting them in here. Even if I think it's a little above average, if I'm not a giant fan of it, but it's in the average range, it's a new song, I'll throw it in there. I imagine Ben's probably doing something similar, but I'm not 100% what he's doing. He might just be throwing new songs in from bands he enjoys, or if he sees them come up. So that's a little bit different. So you can drop down the comments, and I will check it out. If I enjoy the song, I'll throw it in there. Okay? So, yeah. And hopefully we can listen to a little bit more of some of these songs every time we check these out. Well, we'll see how that works out for me. Got Miss May I here, and they dropped their album. Who doesn't love Miss May I? They dropped their album in September, and that has this is really heavy, actually, I felt like, for... So that album is really good. Definitely worth a check out on that. Monuments of Mick Gordon. They dropped a whole album, looks like Monuments did, in April. Ben added that one. I believe I've heard this one, actually. Could be wrong. No, I have not heard that. That has a nice little swap up, though, so I think I will enjoy that. Neon Graves dropped a song, Soul Burn, which I was really impressed with in November. Really like this. Just the flow is really nice. This kind of gave me a Born of Osiris feel to it a little bit. So I think that's probably why I enjoyed that. Nick Nocturnal and Left to Suffer. They dropped one in March 6th. Another Nick Nocturnal. That was April 14th. Oceano, Mass Produced, was dropped August of last year. So that one won't be in there very much longer. Orphan, Mag Dump, that dropped in July of last year, so that one's got a couple more months. Head on a Spike by Orthodox, August last year. We've got some Of Sulfur, 3 new songs from them. Let's see how old this is here. Oh, this just dropped in March. So got 3 new songs by Of Sulfur. Here, let's check out the one with Alex Terrible from Slaughter to Prevail. I've actually heard this one. So what I've been doing is while I am driving or whatever, I'll have this playlist like this playing on shuffle. And since, like I said, I've only added half the songs in this genre playlist, the other half just kind of come on randomly, and I'm not really familiar with who was singing, but just jamming out to it. So that is definitely one I've already actually heard. Taylor Barber of Left to Suffer. All right. Pale Dusk. I really like that name. Area PD. That dropped October of last year. Let's give that a little listen here. I really like the background noises there, like the digital noises and stuff. And I think this is a good example of a band using those to make it sound better and actually feed into their sound. I've heard a lot of metalcore bands or whatever use like that, try to go like a digital sound in the background, and it just sounds super distorted and kind of gives the music kind of a rough sound, and it's hard to listen to. But that actually sounds pretty damn good. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, I like that one a lot. Paleface Swiss, Best Before Death, that dropped March 1st. I actually really like that one. I just heard that the other day in this list. Phase 1 and Era, they dropped 1 December, and that had a pretty good sound to it as well. We have Project Vengeance and Left to Suffer, Cut, Bleed, Repeat. March 8th, they dropped a song. Sable Hills dropped a song or an album, Duality, in June of last year. So that's got a couple more months before that leaves the list. Kudrat by Sokumpula Pulen Orangela. And that might be terribly butchered, and I apologize if it is. And they are a band from, I want to say, I know it's a Southeast Asian country. Malaysia. That's right. Okay, so they're from Malaysia. So not all their stuff is in English, but this had an interesting flow to it. I felt like there was a little bit of a heavier part. Actually, it might be coming up there. And typically, I'm not huge on songs that are completely in another language, but that just had a nice flow to me. So yeah, and that came out, when that come out? February this year. Signs of the Swarm dropped one in April 13th. So we got some new Signs of the Swarm. I'm not a giant fan of that band, but always willing to check something new out. And I'm sure it'll pop up on the list while I'm listening to it. Sleep Dealer, Night Sky, that dropped April. And that one, let's check that out. Is this lo-fi? What is happening? It's lo-fi. Lo-fi. All right, let's Sleep Dealer. Let's look up here. Genre finder. Sleep Dealer. Oh. Set up. Let's see what it comes up with. Yeah, that comes up as lo-fi. Man, you added a lo-fi song. Somebody had a interesting reaction to that one, I'm sure. They're like, what is this? So Stick to Your Guns dropped an album July last year. More of Us Than Them, just solid.
Set the world ablaze. Nothing goes to waste. Now I understand. More of us than them. Set the world ablaze. Nothing.
Ooh, sounds so good. Now, I will say I'm not a huge fan of that album in general, comparatively to some of their other stuff, but it is still have some good songs on it. And Suicide Silence, another album that I was absolutely not a fan of, but this came out on March 10th. I don't really know. I don't know what it was about this album, but it just wasn't great. I did enjoy the song though. Not too bad. Sunfall, Deadbeat, they dropped a song November 22nd. Tactosa and Kyle Medina. DIY Autopsy, that just sounds lovely. January 20th, that came out. Another Nick Nocturnal song, Termina. When did that drop? January of this year. Okay. Phil, why does that name sound familiar? Phil Bosman. Shadow Intent. I don't know. That sounds really familiar to me, though. Thy Art is Murder dropped a new one. They also did a cover of a Cannibal Corpse song, Hammer Smashed Face on there. I am not into that. But this one did sound pretty good. We got Cut Off the Head to the Grave. That dropped January this year. Let Go by Under Oath. That one dropped out March 3rd. And then we have Varials. Been added that one. That came out October last year. Red Fur by Veil of Maya. They dropped this, I believe. Oh, yeah, that's right. They only have a couple singles off. Me and Chuck actually reacted to Synthwave Vegan. Wasn't a giant fan of that, but I do like that band a lot. So hopefully that'll be a good one. I'll hopefully get that one popping up here soon. Woe Is Me. I still have not heard this song, but Woe Is Me dropped a new song. Holy shit. I mean, they haven't put out anything in, I guess, let's see here. Isn't there a show all? No. Okay. 2012 looks like there for albums. That was their last album. this is the last thing I heard from them, and that was 2013. And it was more of a pop punk EP. And as you can see, I really enjoyed that, actually. I doubt a lot of people did enjoy that, but I did. So I'm definitely excited to hear this new one finally when I get the chance, but I have not heard it yet. And Volvadinia. Terrible. Eulogy of Ashes. That dropped April 14th, and I love that cover. I'm not going to lie to you. That looks sweet. All right, so that is the new core list as of right now. Like I said, do us a favor, smash the heart button on Spotify. Check it out. Let us know what you think. We're going to keep up with this. We're going to make sure that all the songs are less than a year old. So I will be giving updates every so often here on what I add new to it and what is getting removed from the list because it's reached that too old. So I'm really enjoying this. If you guys have any ideas of things you would like to see from what we're doing here, let me know. And like I said, if you have any requests that are new that came on the last like 4 or 5 months per se, make sure you drop those in the comments and I will give it a listen and see if it should go in the list or not. But yeah, I'm definitely trying to keep this more kind of curated towards my taste. And then I'm imagining Ben's doing the same with his stuff. And then, but making sure that everything in here is less than a year old for y'all. So as you can see, we have a great mix of music right now, and there's over 6 hours of stuff in there, guys. So if you're looking for new heavy shit, make sure you check it out. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of this video. We're still working things out here with the Sound Discovery podcast. That's what I'm just calling this for now. And, just enjoying the finding new stuff, guys. It's one of my favorite things. I really love music, and there's several genres that I really enjoy. And like I said, I've been listening to metalcore for almost like 10 years now. So I really, really enjoy finding new stuff. And then we're doing a punk. We have a Discover New Punk. We have a Discover New Pop Punk and a Discover New Ska. So if you like any of those genres, make sure you search them and heart them. They all have the same skull cover here, Discover New Tunes. It's Sound Discovery. I have the podcast name right in the title of the image there, so you can see that. Do us a favor, hit the like on there, man. Come join the fun. Check out some new genres. All right. Yeah, I don't really know of any new stuff that's coming out at the moment that's coming up, but I'll definitely be keeping an eye on it. And like I said, if you just go to, well, I didn't really say this actually earlier. So if you just go up here, you can see date added, and you can legitimately tell what new stuff I've been adding, or that we've been adding. So 2 hours ago, I added that Kingdom of Giants song, for example, or 2 hours ago, I added the new Devil Wears Prada. So I'm just always keeping my eye out for new stuff, and then I will listen to this on shuffle while I'm driving or whatever to check out said new stuff. So definitely enjoy that. Guys, I appreciate you guys watching. Do me a favor, smash that like button, hit subscribe if you want to join our community, have a little fun. Me and Chuck react to a lot of different musics. This is part of the reason I decided to do a Discover New Core list and kind of add this to a Sound Discovery podcast here that I'm doing, is because we don't have enough time to react to everything new. We barely have time to keep up with comment requests and Patreon picks, and we try to balance it out between those two. And we are like thousands of songs behind on the request list. So we have enough stuff to concentrate on rather than doing new stuff constantly, especially since Chuck's not a huge fan of heavier stuff. So this kind of works out that I can still talk about a genre that I really enjoy, and show some new songs from it while, jamming out a little bit and showing you guys, if that makes sense. I don't know. Anyways, guys, I'm Joel Norden. Thank you guys for watching. And until next time, guys, peace out.